This week, the U.S. government quietly became a shareholder in 6 more chip makers. Not a grant, not a loan, an actual ownership stake. That brings the total number of companies Uncle Sam now owns a piece of to 30. Intel, U.S. Steel, a nuclear power company, and now a fresh batch of semiconductor firms building out AI infrastructure. If that sounds like something you'd expect from a very different kind of economy, you're not wrong. And it's happening right now, quietly, one deal at a time. Stick with me because this touches your dividend portfolio more than you'd think, and I'm going to show you exactly how. Here's where we're headed. First, what actually happened this week and how we got to 30 companies. Second, why one policy expert says the most striking part isn't the deals themselves, it's how normal this has become. Third, how this connects to SCHD and the tech concentration story I've been tracking on this channel. And last, what actually matters for you as an investor versus what's just noise. Quick disclaimer before we start. This is educational analysis based on published reporting, not financial or political advice. I'm not a licensed advisor. Verify current numbers yourself and talk to a professional before making moves. So here's what actually happened. 6 semiconductor companies signed letters of intent this week to receive government assistance from the 2022 CHIPS Act, up to $874 million combined, in exchange for what's being called a minority, non-controlling equity stake. In plain English, the government gives money, the government gets stock. That brings the running total to 30 companies now sitting in the federal government's investment portfolio, according to a tally from the Cato Institute. This didn't start this week. Back in May, the administration took stakes in quantum computing companies, including a venture with IBM. It holds a golden share in U.S. Steel. It holds an 8% stake in the nuclear company Westinghouse. And the most prominent one by far is Intel, where the government stake has already produced an unrealized profit north of $70 billion since the deal was announced last year. Now, you might be thinking, okay, that's an interesting Washington story, but what does it actually have to do with my dividend fund? Stay with me, because here's the part almost nobody is connecting. One policy expert put it best this week. He said the most striking thing about all of this isn't any single deal. It's how unremarkable government ownership of private companies is becoming. Think about what that means. The previous administration used this same CHIPS Act money to hand out grants. No equity involved. This administration made a hard pivot, and now 18 semiconductor-adjacent companies alone have deals publicly tied to the government taking a stake. That's a real shift in how Washington relates to private industry. And it's happening across chips, quantum computing, steel, nuclear energy, and rare earth minerals all at once. Whether you think that's smart industrial policy or something to be worried about, the fact pattern is the same either way. The government is becoming a bigger and bigger shareholder in exactly the sectors that are also driving the stock market right now. And that's where this circles back to something I've been telling you about on this channel for months. I've shown you already that SCHD's #1 sector is now tech, and that this wasn't the original plan for a fund built around dividend quality. Now layer this government ownership trend on top of that. Semiconductor and chip-adjacent companies aren't just attracting investor money right now, they're attracting direct government investment too. That's a new kind of support underneath this sector that didn't exist a few years ago, and it's part of why chip and AI infrastructure names have been such strong performers. I want to be upfront here. I have not independently confirmed whether SCHD directly holds Intel or any of these specific chip makers right now, and its holdings shift as the fund rebalances. So check SCHD's current top holdings yourself before assuming anything. But the broader point stands. The same sector concentration story I've flagged before just picked up a powerful new player, the federal government itself. So is that a good thing for your dividend portfolio, or a new risk you haven't priced in? Let's look at both sides, honestly. The upside case is right there in the Intel numbers. A $70 billion unrealized profit is a real result, and if the government's presence helps stabilize or accelerate a strategic company, shareholders benefit right alongside it. There's a real argument that this kind of backing reduces certain risks for these companies. The risk case is just as real, though. When a government becomes a large shareholder, decisions can start to reflect political priorities, not just business ones. Non-controlling stakes today don't guarantee no influence tomorrow. And there's a simple overhang question every investor should ask. At some point, does the government sell these stakes? And what does that selling pressure do to the stock when it happens? Nobody knows the answer yet, because this playbook is still being written in real time. So what should you actually do with this information? First, don't treat this as a reason to rush out and buy semiconductor stocks just because the US government is involved. Government support can create opportunities, but it doesn't guarantee that every company will be a winning investment. Markets often price in good news long before individual investors hear about it, and buying after a major headline can easily turn into performance chasing. A great company can still be a poor investment if you pay too much for it. Second, take a few minutes to review your own portfolio. If you own SCHD or any other ETF, don't assume it's the same fund you bought a year or two ago. Indexes rebalance, companies enter and leave portfolios, and sector weights change over time. Technology and semiconductor exposure has been increasing across many dividend and broad market funds, often without investors realizing it. Understanding what you actually own today is far more valuable than relying on outdated assumptions. Third, keep following this story because it's far from over. The government's approved list has already expanded significantly, and there's a strong chance it will continue growing as more companies invest in domestic semiconductor manufacturing, AI infrastructure, and advanced technology. This isn't just another headline that disappears next week. It's part of a much larger shift in industrial policy, supply chain security, and global technology competition. Finally, remember that successful investing isn't about reacting to every announcement. It's about recognizing long-term trends while staying disciplined. Instead of asking, which chip stock should I buy today? Ask yourself, how does this trend affect the companies and funds I already own? That's a much better question, and it usually leads to better decisions. The biggest takeaway is simple. Stay informed without becoming emotional. Review your portfolio regularly, understand how your holdings are changing, and make investment decisions based on your long-term goals rather than short-term excitement. The semiconductor industry will likely remain a major investment theme for years to come, but that doesn't mean you need to chase every rally. Let the fundamentals guide your decisions, not the headlines. That's how long-term investors build wealth while everyone else is reacting to the news. So here's the whole thing in one breath. The US government now owns a piece of 30 companies and just added 6 more chip makers this week. What one expert called unremarkable might be the most important word in the whole story, because normal is exactly how big shifts sneak up on investors. This connects directly to the tech concentration I've already shown you building inside SCHD. If this helped connect the dots on a story that's honestly a little strange when you say it out loud, do me a favor and hit subscribe. It genuinely helps this channel. And drop a comment. Does the government owning shares in these companies make you more comfortable or less? I read every one of them.